motivation to have a direction. Intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation. The one that comes from within and the one that comes from what? Motivation, extrinsic motivation. The one that comes from within and the one that comes from what? From outside. So the one that comes within you without anybody forcing you is what? Intrinsic motivation. The one that we are talking about now, gift has been attached. It's an external extrinsic motivation. Those are the types now. Intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation. Gift is being attached, but the one that comes from within, nobody tells you anything. You just decided to do what? To motivate yourself. Number one, there must be an interest. You are interested. Nobody is forcing you to have an interest. You yourself, you have interest. That's what we call extrinsic motivation. And apart from interest, maybe you enjoy doing that particular thing. You know, this teaching job now, some people did not have training at the initial stage to go into teaching, but because they have passion, they enjoy doing it. You can categorize the word intrinsic motivation because that thing comes from within. It's okay. INSTRINSIC. Yes, intrinsic. Yes, motivation. Then we have extrinsic. That is TRI after the X now. After the EX, TRISNIC motivation. So maybe this thing that we are talking about now, whenever you do it, you used to have a personal satisfaction. It's what you love doing. Like some people now, they enjoy baking. Apart from whenever they are doing whatever you do that you enjoy is an intrinsic because it's from within. Nobody forced you to do it. But when you are talking of X now, extrinsic, that means you have an external forces. Like now, external factor, like there's a reward now attached to it. You want to be a millionaire, you want to go and feature on their program because you want to win their million. Abi, that's an external factor that will make you or want you to go into that particular thing. External factor has been attached, and if there is external factor being attached, definitely you will not. That means it's no more instinct. It's no more within. It's from outside now. I hope you understand the difference between the two now. Intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation. You need to write it down. You are putting it. So that is just that about that. Then there are a lot of importance that is attached to motivation. Motivation as it is, it has importance. You know, it enhances growth. Motivation enhances growth. Either intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation, because both of them bring growth. Either intrinsic or what, you will be growing that particular day because you want that thing eager. That eagerness will come either from within or from outside, and by the time you are doing it, you are growing. It brings about growth. That's one of the importance of motivation. It brings about growth and development. Growth and development. Motivation also improves our performances. Our performances, our productivity, as well as overall well-being or behavior. It improves our performances, our productivity, as well as overall well-being of what? Of our behavior. Then you grab it, then give it to other people as information. So motivation also helps us to set our goals right and to achieve them at an appointed time. It helps us to do what? To set our goals right and to achieve them at what? At an appropriate time or at an appointed time. You can set a particular goal for yourself. I want to do this before this so age. I want to do this before so and so time. So it helps us to set our goals and to achieve it at what? At an appropriate or at an appointed time. Like this program that you are doing now, you set a time limit for yourself. Abi, within 1 year, I want to have this. So that is part of motivation, either from inside or from outside. If I ask you now, how are you motivated to this place? Who give you direction to this place? Maybe you through social media just click and you develop an interest. That is what? Intrinsic motivation. If somebody talks to you about it, extrinsic now is somebody that invite you to it and you now key in. You are motivated by external forces or external factors. If you are the one that motivated yourself, that's from what? Internal. It's an intrinsic motivation. Are we clear now? Then we have a lot of factors now.
The importance you give us just two.
Okay, how many do I give you now?
3.
Then let me just read it out. I think I have about it what? And development. Okay. It is. Okay. Good. Then and again, apart from that, motivation. Either positively or negatively
in the past. Now,
in our day-to-day activities. In our day-to-day activities. Motivation is also a driving force. It's also what? A driving force that drives our desires. It's also a driving force that drives our desires. As well as those of the peoples under our care. Motivation drives our desires as well as those people under our care.
In other words, history is about this today. In other words,
keywords in motivation. You mentioned only direction, only.
Okay, I mentioned
keywords in motivation.
Keywords, I mentioned only direction. Okay, there is what we call persistence. I mentioned direction before, and I've mentioned persistence now. And the last but not the least is what we call intensity. Intensity. You know, intensity is the same thing as intensifying efforts in a particular direction. You know, if you are motivated, you intensify more efforts to get motivated more. and motivation is directional. Give you a direction so as to have headway in whatever you are doing. And at the same time, when we mention persistence, you know, I remember I mentioned obstacles. So something that you may likely come to experience on your way to motivation, but if there is persistence, you equally overcome all the obstacles that we are talking about, and that is just that. Then we have various authors that have worked on motivation and their discoveries. You know, when we are talking of driving force, when we are talking of all the philosophers that at one point or the other do one thing in the field of motivation or the other, we have a whole lot of them, but we recognize the work. We always make reference to about 4 of them. Among them we have who we call Sigmund Freud. Sigmund, S-I-G-M-U-D. Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud. We have Abraham Maslow. We have Albert Bandura. Is one of the is among those that is popular among them. Albert Bandura. Sigmund Freud. Abraham Maslow. Albert Bandura, and of course we have Edward Deci. Edward, E-D-W-A-R-D and D-E-C-I. Edward separate, Deci separate, D-E-C-I. Yes. And what do we know Albert Bandura for? For those of us that have attended the College of Education or they have their first degree in education, Tokpe, you can't remember. Business, edu business, they talk when she Koma Bandura. Social learning theory now. Albert Bandura work on social learning theory. I remember mentioning in your class this woman, Otivijel. Albert Bandura was popular for social learning theory. And what is social learning theory that we're talking about? He's talking about the role of observation. You know, that is what we did in classroom, in our classroom. A teacher that does not observe well can never teach well. Am I? You need a whole lot of observation in your class. You know them at their down time and know them at their what? Up time. If you notice a student that have been so quiet, it's unlike you. What happened? You manage to know what is happening. By that, you let him or her pick up again. So it's one of the social learning theories, and it's propounded by what? Albert Bandura. Imitation under Albert Bandura. Imitation. And as well as imitation. imitation. You imitate somebody by imitation. And that's why that particular theory you can never forget. When you remember observation, when you remember imitation and you as well look at observation. So, and that is one theory. And at the same time, it also talks about motivation. It also talks about motivation. So those are the theory that was propounded by Abba Bandura. But when you are talking of Sigmund Freud, Sigmund Freud as a person is a psychologist himself, and he was talking about what we call unconscious motivation. That's his own area. Do you know you can be motivated unconsciously without you being knowing? You can be motivated unconsciously without you being knowing. When you are part of the system, over a period of time, you'll be motivated. Meanwhile, it's unconscious. You didn't even take notes that you are being motivated. It is after somebody bring it to your notice. That's it. So I'm even part of themselves. So you understand? Because you are being motivated unknowingly, unconsciously. You did not know that you are being motivated. And it is because of the actions and inactions of those people that are around you that will get you motivated unknowingly, unconscious. You may be doing something that what motivation, but you will not know. You don't know that you are being motivated by particular factors. It may be an internal factor or an external factor, as we have earlier in what intrinsic and what extrinsic motivation. So those are the areas that we are talking about, and those are the areas where we have Sigmund Freud work. Then we have Abraham Maslow. It's another popular one. Abraham Maslow. This one is called an hierarchy of needs theory. You are working on anything, maybe even as a school owner, you need this theory the most. You need a lot of things as a school owner. It's our own way of saying we have scale of preference. That's our own scale of preference in education. When you anywhere you heard of Abraham Maslow, Abraham Maslow talks about hierarchy of needs.
You are forgetting that you are watching some movie that you are together with your family.
And he proposes that human needs are what? Hierarchical in nature. He said human needs are what? They are hierarchical in nature. Hierarchy, H-I-E-R-A-R-C-H-I-C-A-L. H-I-E-R-A-R-C-H-I-C-A-L. He proposed that human needs are what? They are hierarchical in nature. And you know one thing about him? If you arrange everything under hierarchy, he now tell you to bring the list. You know, when we are talking of scale of preference in economics, scale of preference, arrangement of your needs in another of what? Importance. That's scale of preference in economics. But this is our hierarchy in Abraham Maslow now. He said after you have arranged everything from hierarchy now, he now asks you to start from bottom. From the least, yes, the least important. He now asks you to do what? To start from bottom. We don't even call it least important here. We call it lower level. Let's take for example now, as a school owner, you need to put up a classroom. Maybe new construction of a new classroom. You put it at number 1. That's you. They ask you to write your scale of preference on in economics now. Classroom, textbook, exercise book, teachers. Or don't call that one. There's a stationaries. Classroom, textbook or stationaries. Let's say recruitment, and maybe the 4th one is a construction of a playground. Or painting. or let's say painting.
Or events concerning.
So he's now telling you that your need that you have just listed,
and places.
in the first place, you list it according to the one that you need most. You now ask you to steer from the rear.
If you don't have classroom, what will you paint?
So, and if you don't have teachers, what do you want to teach?
As an historian.
So that's what we call it, hierarchical needs. Abraham Maslow theory of what? Hierarchical needs. And he said the lower level needs must be met before higher level needs can be addressed. That's his own philosophy of life. The one that you consider the least, meet it first. Because you cannot place something on what? On nothing.
So that some people will take without having on the movie.
So we have treated Alba Mandura, Sigmund Freud, and what? Abraham. What was the last one? MCA David what? Daniel. Edward. Okay. Edward Deci. This one is called self-determination theory. We call it self-determination theory. Self what? Determination theory. From the word self-determined.
Why and how it happens.
What you intend to achieve. What you intend to have. Self-determination theory. And Edward Deci, that developed self-determination theory, proposes that motivation must be influenced by 3 factors. In his own words, he said what? Motivation must be influenced by 3 factors. Number 1, it must be autonomous. It must be autonomous in nature. That your needs must what? Must be autonomous in nature. That is peculiar to you alone. Autonomy. Yes. And I said 1, it must be autonomous in nature. That means that your needs must be autonomous. You want to spell it? AUTONOMOUS. Yes. So he said it must be what? Autonomous in nature. 2, it must exhibit what we call competence. Exhibition of competence is the second one. The third one is that you must not relent. You must not what? Relent until you achieve it. Self-determination theory is aimed on 3 factors. It must be autonomous, it must develop confidence, and at the same time, you must not relent. And if you look at all those factors now, it is then you can call it self-determination, because it's autonomous to you alone as a person, and you want to achieve it. If you relent, can you achieve a particular goal? You cannot achieve it. Like this program that you are doing now, if you relent on it, you won't achieve it. And it's peculiar to you and you alone, and that's why the autonomy is coming out. And the other one is that you must have confidence or competence in yourself as a personal self that can do what? I can achieve it. I can achieve it. I can do it. That's what we call can do spirit. So can do spirit works in line with the theory of Edward Deci. So, and if you look at what they do, you can easily get what they at any point in time. When we talk about Alba Bandura, we said it was hierarchy. Abi? When we talk about Sigmund Freud, what is peculiar to that one? and motivation. So, if you talk about Abraham Maslow, his hierarchy, hierarchy of needs. Sigmund Freud is a motivational theory. Then we said Edward Alba Bandura, known for what? Social learning theory. And Edward Dorsey developed self-worth determination theory. So those are the people that we are. There are many, but we are going to limit ourselves to that particular four, at least for the purpose of this class. Then all of the authors that we have mentioned now, they have contributed in one way or the other to the development of education, most especially psychology, because they are regarded to as what? They are regarded to as our what do we call them in education? Philosophers. Anybody that has worked on a particular theory, on one theory or the other, refer to them as what? As a philosophers. And at the same time, at one point or the other, they have come up with particular theories that have worked or been useful for human nature and human existence. So, and that is why we said all those ones, their words cannot be overemphasized, especially in the field of psychology, in the field of education generally, and even our business. Even our business, we make use of their philosophy, because it's a theory that has worked for various people at any point, at a particular point in time, and that cannot be faulted. And that is why, if you are seeing anybody that's talking on this thing, they are building on what these people have said before. And that is why, if you want to quote these people now, you cannot use any other name, even though most of them occurs in the 18th, 19th centuries, 18th century. You just refer to them. That according to Alba Bandura and as stated by so and so person. So you understand now? So you cannot but do their work, the work that have, but mention what they have done in the past. So that is what motivation is all about, and we supposed to talk about them when the need arises. So then we still have some you know, when we are talking, when we talk about reinforcement the other time, you know, we've done reinforcement, Daddy. We've talked about reinforcement in this class before. We've not talked about reinforcement. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Reinforcement. Check your notes now. We have not. Okay. Reinforcement is not something that is far-fetched. At least your own literal meaning of understanding of reinforcement, you have heard of it before. What is reinforcement?
To repeat something in a manner that will help the learner to achieve it. Continuous practice.
You said?
A form of giving a continuous repetition to a child regards something for continuity.
Okay. You know why I'm confused? It's because you did not mention the word frequency. When you are repeating something, you are reinforcing. It's the frequency. That means it refers to the frequency at which a particular process is being repeated over and over again to achieve a particular thing at the end of the day. So, and you know, if you want to reinforce a behavior, there must be a frequency at which you must continue to do what? You must have been hammering that particular behavior, that particular thing over and over again. It's like you are reinforcement. For example, now, if a soldier or a policeman now went on a mission, as they used to call it, if they are not enough, they said reinforce others. Abi, bring more people. You are reinforcing in order to achieve a particular goal. So, but in educational balance now, process of increasing the frequency of a particular thing. You know, reinforcing is what? It's a sort of increment now. Reinforce more, bring more. It's a way of increasing a particular thing over and over again. Especially if you want to reinforce a behavior, that means somebody somewhere will exhibit the likelihood of a particular behavior that you want. I don't know whether you get it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If you are trying to reinforce a particular behavior now in a particular way, that means somebody somewhere will be leading an exemplary behavior in that particular area that we can ahead must be there, that we can always reverse to and at the same time work on at any moment and at any point in time, so that it will make your work and my work easier.
Just the reason for doing assignments.
Okay, exactly. Yes, we can liken it to that one. You know, in a nutshell now, if you give your kids or your puppy under your care assignment now, directly or indirectly, you are expecting reinforcement, either from the parents to achieve that. After all, that's what we call reinforcement. And at the same time, we have types, different types of reinforcement that we have. We have positive reinforcement, we have negative reinforcement, and at the same time, we still have what we call primary reinforcement, and we have negative reinforcement. Secondary reinforcement, sorry. You know, as I said, we have positive, we have negative, we have primary, we have secondary. When we say a particular reinforcement is positive, what do we mean?
Achieving a positive result.
Achieving a positive result. How do we achieve a positive result?
That is, the repetition is bringing out a positive results.
But something is bringing in that result. That's the motivation. That is the motivation. Either by way of reward. It's the motivation that we are talking about that is bringing that particular result. You get it? Do you get it now? So something is driving that result. And what is driving that result is what? Motivation. So when we are talking of negative motivation, what do we mean? Negative motivation now. Something somewhere is reducing that thing that we are bringing in, by way of particular behavior. Something somewhere serve as an obstacle that will not make us to achieve our aims in that particular direction, and that's what we call negative reinforcement.
For a child that refuses to write in the class, then you deny the child from going on break.
Okay.
Can it be referred to as a negative motivation?
It's a negative reinforcement because there's word denial. You mentioned denial by yourself. Once the word denial is there, it's no more a positive reinforcement. Something that stimulates, that brings out something is what? Positive. So that is denial. Then, when we say primary reinforcement, it's like, you know, we have primary before secondary. One thing will be at the top before others. And when we are talking of primary reinforcement, we are talking about we are referring to something that is appealing, otherwise known as what? Innate. Something that is what? That is appealing. That's when we're talking of primary reinforcement. For example, now it's only these days now that the issue of food does not work again. Because if you give somebody something in your class and the person now eats it, and he started having stomach upsets, like you want to say something, you have to stop. So you use something that is not something that they can put in their mouth. You give erasers, you give writing pad. Because the moment something went wrong somewhere, you'll be in problem. They will call you. Okay, what happened now? Who asked you to give them biscuits? Did they tell you they are hungry? Or they didn't bring their food flask? Yes, that one. To go and buy by themselves. Anything that will involve taking it to their mouth, so that you not put yourself in problem. Hey, so that one, that the one that you mentioned, we now made me to go to a secondary reinforcement. Money, that is where money comes in. Primary reinforcement, you use innate, something like something you can put into your mouth. You reinforce them. For example, in our homes, various homes now, like Yoruba we say, I told my answer the Lord, I walk out your jet, and to battle one over my bones, what about the my phone, Abi? I will give you inside. That one will now reinforce you. You now go. We now reinforce you. You don't forget it's motivation that brings reinforcement. So you understand? That one will now reinforce you, and now say, let me go, because if I know, by the time I come back, they will give me either one or two out of the. So secondary reinforcement is money.
By a victim.
So
Or by a passerby.
Then.
That is when an accident occurs.
Do you know? We also have a fundamental concept when we are talking of reinforcement.
How did it happen? And all the things that.
Because at some point, as a teacher, you want to see yourself as achieving all your desired goals for setting up a particular classroom. Abi? If you want to begin a particular class, and that's why you see in our lesson we have behavioral objective. Abi? At the end of this class, teachers will be able to do this, you now list them 1, 2, 3, 4. Abi? And if all of them has not been achieved, it is then you can bring in all this one that we are talking about. So that the earlier for you, the better. So we make use of them often and often in classrooms to achieve our aims. And by extension, even at home. Maybe you want to go out now, so you are coming here now. You now say, maybe your eldest child. Make sure you this and this. And if I come back, that's it that you ask me, I come and give you. Abi, you have employed that kind of reinforcement in form of motivation in your own house as well. So that at the end of the day, you achieve your aim. So that's exactly. Sorry. Hello? Hello, now we'll be there in the next one now. So around that. Okay, you can check me any moment from by 1:30, 1:30 to around that. Yeah. So that is that about motivation, at least for this class, so that we don't model up things. And I believe if we observe this one will be enough for us to navigate our ways at least in our class.
When an historian consults,
So, because I know you must have had a similar situation in your class. To those of us that are in classrooms, do you have a caregiver here? Do you have a caregiver in this class? You are not a caregiver now. You are shaking your head. Are you a caregiver? You are not a caregiver. Caregiver lo jawo nsin Ọlọ́run. O jawo gan báyìí. Say you know. Because and that's what we are discussing in that class before I left there. We've already misused it in this part of the world. They want you to work for 12 hours. Yeah, that shifting work. Yes, so it's a caregiver. It's supposed to be on hourly basis. At least 3 shifts in a day. 3 shifts, not only one person working from morning till night. They want to kill you, and they will be offering you mega. Not that they want to pay you 70,000, 50,000. I isn't up to that. So, any question? Yes. 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 It's only edibles.
I said second, you said money.
Just money. Yes, money alone, gift.
It's not the what, it's not the high level. So, person reading this in the book, they now come back and give it to you.
Yes. The secondary reinforcement, yes. Yes.
Or items like laptops and
yes.
therefore, the primary motivation and the secondary motivation.
If money is involved, is that secondary? That's secondary.
And she's now reporting.
That's secondary. Because you know, reinforcement itself is a fundamental concept that we have in psychology. It's a concept that you cannot do away with. So, any questions? No questions. In the absence of no, so by special girl in our next class, I will bring your. I want to take it upon myself. I will take your script and I'll show you. And if there is going to be need for makeup, we announce a date for that, so that we won't be at the receiving end. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, I mean. Doctor, if you want to say how. Ọkọ ẹsẹ òtún rí ọ̀tá lẹ́tí ìfọ̀ pọ̀ sí nǹkan tó sọ fún mọ́.
Ọ̀gá mi
Ó ti mọ̀ pé ojú rọ́bà ní.
ọ̀gá mi ń bọ̀ wá.
Ó wá sọ́jú wá, ó brief mi náà. No. Yóò tó máa kọ́ máa bí ó lè rí.
Music. And she's outside.
My sister. me just know that I can.